On Extra Credit, we explore different ways to express ideas. Plus, ever wondered how astronauts communicate in space? Stay tuned.
This program is made possible in part by the state of Michigan and by viewers like you. Thank you.
Some of us aren't here to make friends. Students sign their name to make it their own.
Really, this show is about hearing from us.
Hey, I'm Brooke.
I'm Paige. This is Oscar.
And this is Extra Credit, a safe space for teens to have interesting conversations and explore new ideas.
So, Brooke, what's the conversation about today?
Communication, whether it's physically, verbally, or telepathically.
Struggling with that one, aren't you?
Yes, that's why. Look, you know what I'm talking about, though. We understand the same language.
Telepathically.
Communication is key.
Exactly.
It's key.
So let's play a little game.
Oh, what game?
It's called Guess the Truth. I'm going to give you 3 statements, and you have to, 2 are lies, so you have to guess which one is the truth. So,
Okay.
the first one is about me. So, the first statement is, I'm in stage crew at school. The second one is, I love seafood. And the third one is, I've been in a total of 6 plays and musicals in my school.
What's the first one again?
I'm in stage crew at school.
Stage what?
Stage crew.
Oh. Stage crew, seafood, and 6 plays. The truth is 6 plays.
Yeah, that's actually correct.
See? I know you well enough.
I have another statement for you.
Okay.
So this one is about animals.
Mm-hmm.
So, dogs are the second most loved animal. Polar bears are number 3 most loved animals.
Okay.
And fennec foxes are pets to people.
And what foxes?
Fennec foxes.
Fennec foxes?
Yeah.
Oh.
So which one is the truth?
The truth is that polar bears are the third?
Actually, no. It's actually a chicken.
Ah! Really?
Yeah, it's actually chickens.
Ooh.
Dogs are actually number 1 most loved animal.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah. And fennec foxes is the truth.
They're pets?
Yeah, they are pets.
They would be. You can make anything a pet.
Yeah, that's so real.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one last more, and this one is about anime.
Okay.
So, Demon Slayer is the most watched anime in the world. Death Note is the number 1 loved anime. And Pokemon has the most fans of all time.
The truth is, Pokemon has the most fans.
No, it's actually Death Note.
Really?
Yeah. The truth is, Demon Slayer is the most watched anime in the world.
Maybe they didn't ask everybody. I feel like they just didn't do the census right.
Yeah. He wants to get on the action too. So, that concludes our game.
Yay! Communication. That was communicative.
Exactly.
Communicative. That's what it was.
Very communicative.
The COVID-19 virus has been around for many years, but it made the biggest impact in our lives in March of 2020. Although we're no longer in a state of emergency, COVID-19 is still present. The Federal Drug Administration, or FDA, approved that COVID-19 vaccine update to protect against new variants. They anticipate that people will need to get an updated COVID-19 vaccine every year, just like other viruses, including influenza. This is highly recommended in order to keep COVID-19 cases as low as possible, and to keep any other pandemics from happening. Imagine having a redo of 2020, school shutting down, and social gatherings with many restrictions and limitations. Imagine losing a close relative because they had COVID-19 and were rushed to the hospital. But when they arrived there weren't enough ventilators for all the patients. Imagine losing precious time from your life because of a disease. Make sure to stay on track with vaccinations in order to live your life to your fullest potential. To learn more about vaccinations and vaccine-preventable diseases, visit Michigan State University Extension's Michigan Vaccine Project, a program committed to providing evidence-based resources so you and your family can make informed health and vaccine decisions.
also during COVID, communication was just,
Mm-mm.
it just went,
It went
a lot of
bad.
people lost a lot of communication skills.
Yeah.
And
Especially, everything went verbal. Because it's like, when it's like you talking to somebody about something important, you're supposed to continue the conversation online or through text. And it don't really text you. And you kind of got to get that update in person. Like, some people are just not good with technology, not good enough for their entire basis of communication to be based online.
yeah.
And you can't blame that on the person. You got to blame that on the pandemic to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And a lot of
it's a
people are
lot.
too tech savvy.
Yeah.
Can't live without a laptop, can't live without their phone for 30 minutes. So that kind of also affects communication really bad.
And there's still, like, Corona's still spreading.
Yeah.
Like, the last thing we need is another pandemic. That already affected, like, our schools and how, like, younger generations or kids that are starting, and kind of set them back a little bit since they had to be online for some of the starting courses. So, yeah, and it really, I think it stunts them a lot because they're not able to, like, talk and build those early relationships and learn, like, social cues.
Yeah.
But yeah, how did COVID affect you when you was in school?
Well, I was virtual, I want to say like 3 days a week. And then Thursdays and Fridays, we would go in the building and have school time. But we would leave school about like 1:25 instead of like our normal time. So it kind of threw us all off. And then it was like social distancing. No one really spoke when I was in school. It was the teacher talks, then, because everyone was scared. Like, I didn't want to go up to you and talk to you because I might get COVID. Like, it was really scary. During lunchtime, our tables were like 6 feet apart. Like, it was like so separate. Like, everyone had their own table. Like, we were all just isolated from each other. And it like really, I didn't want to talk to anyone. I felt myself like slowly like losing my communication skills. So I was like, wow, like, this is a really big thing. Like, I don't even want to talk to you.
Yeah. Dang, that has to suck to, like, watch it go down for real, like, in your school. That whole year, my whole junior year, we was online. So I didn't have to see anybody. And I was kind of like, it was cool because I was able to go from my bed to the desk, back to the bed. And I thought that was great. So, a lot of other people didn't thrive though. And a lot of people did lose like communicative skills and are suffering now because they don't really know how to engage and are trying to relearn those skills. So
Yeah.
Have you ever wondered what the future looks like through a Black lens? And yes, you heard that correctly. But welcome to the Lock In with the Lockheads. I'm Jam. This is.
I'm Cass.
This is.
And I'm Money.
Alright, Cass. Hit him with the topic we're talking about today.
Today we are talking about Afrofuturism. I know you're thinking, what is Afrofuturism and how to determine if something is Afrofuturistic? Well, it's reimagining of the past and looking ahead and cementing Black folks into the future.
Stop pressuring me. Stop pressuring me. Stop pressuring me.
We gotta lock in.
Wanna scream. I'm sorry. It just as soon as the word Afrofuturism came up, the first two people I thought of was Michael and Janet Jackson. Throughout the music video of Scream, they both talk about the injustice of America going around the world. Lyrics like, with such confusion, don't it make you wanna scream? You bash abusing, victimizing with the scheme. Simply shows that there isn't a true carefree lifestyle in America if you are Black. Repeating the chorus, stop pressuring me, just stop pressuring me, stop pressuring me, make me wanna scream. Mean they are tired of all these lies that are put on them as Black people as a whole, trying to put us all down. Along with these lyrics, images from the video like breaking what seems to be very expensive objects, floating in space, playing high-tech games, and symbols showing the science fiction side of the siblings of the Jacksons.
That reminds me of Let's Groove by Earth, Wind & Fire. Great song, by the way. Throughout the video, the use of outer space and a kind of space outfit gives the sci-fi aspect. The song was written by Maurice White, a member of the band. In the lyrics, you can take a lot of meaning away from them. One is revisioning of the past with the old outfits. Others are predictions of the future. Within the video, you see elements of Black people being in this carefree world, grooving to the beat of life, and everything is going to be alright.
Alright, enough with the music. Let's get into the shows. One show is Kendrick. Jessica Bravo's FX trailer is a great example of Afrofuturism. It meets the requirements of the director being African American. It shows revisioning of the past, reclamation, Black liberation, and a variety of genres. Right off the bat, the first 20 seconds of the trailer reminded me of Revisiting of the Past because it shows a black woman running fast in a bathrobe. It kind of looks like she's a runaway slave. It shows magic realism because whenever the protagonist goes to sleep, she goes into an alternate reality.
Great trailer, by the way. You can catch this show on Hulu if you would like to learn more. I'm Monty.
I'm Jam.
I'm Cass, and that's all we got for you today on Lock In with the Lockheads.
See you next time.
I thought it was very interesting. I've been interested in learning and studying and making stories surrounding Afrofuturism since I was in like middle school. Like, I've been able to come up with these stories whether they were surrounded in or based on the past or changing the past and seeing what could happen in the future. One of the people that inspired me really heavily is Octavia Butler.
How so?
Her books are really Afro-futuristic, and they really go and kind of change history in a way to where things happen differently for different reasons, but it still has aspects of human nature. So it's pretty realistic in some ways, but it's also like pretty fantasy and just simply in the fact that none of that happened or will happen in the soon future. So
I love reading people's opinions about like, especially like song breakdowns, movie breakdowns, stuff like that. So I really enjoyed watching it for that view.
Right. They get a lot of the forms of music and art that comes from Afrofuturism also stem back further from other science fiction films, movies, and music videos. Like Janelle Monáe I forgot the name of the album, but a lot of it was, and Beyonce's Renaissance, a lot of it stems back to the movie Metropolis. I think it was a German movie. I don't know when it came out. I don't know the specifics, but it all connects back to something.
Yeah.
Like there's always like a stem, like a lead, a reference. So I always find that topic interesting when it comes up. If you had to come up with a story and express yourself with the theme of Afrofuturism, what would you choose? Like, would you do it in music? Would you do it in a dance?
I think I would do it in music because music is one of my specialties. So I feel like I would do it more of a little short film. So I would either do like a short film or I would use like music.
Yeah.
How would you?
I would definitely do something with a video. Like, cause doing the costumes and the editing and the overlays, like that has to be so fun. Like even if you do music, to come up with a video to go with like the beat and the song and the jams and whatever your like topic is in the genre, it's gonna be good. Like it has to be good.
Yeah.
Like Afrofuturism has yet to not look or feel like it belongs in that genre to me. So yeah. I like it a lot.
I learned that even if your project fails, you can still learn stuff from the experiment.
This is the Science and Engineering Fair of Metro Detroit and the Michigan Science Fair. It's a competition for 3rd grade through 12th grade kids in the 7-county area within Detroit and the entire state of Michigan. Science fair is different than a lot of other competitions because the students have to actually do an experiment. They can't just do book research. They have to actually get their hands dirty. They have to follow the scientific method. They have to come up with a hypothesis, prove or disprove the hypothesis.
My project was if laundry detergent affects the growth of a plant.
My main experiment was how age affected the Stroop test and how it affects your neurocognitive ability.
What did you find from that experiment?
That your neurocognitive ability depletes as you age, and that the older you are, the lower your score on the Stroop test will be.
I tested if taking like a shower temperature would change the effect of the steps that you take a day. So The conclusion was that taking cold showers gets you more steps.
My project was kind of interesting because I tested how much mold would go on each bread, and I had 3 different kinds of wrap to see which one would mold the most, and none of my bread molded in the end. So
None of them.
there's a bunch of preservatives in the bread, and none of the bread molded.
There are a number of key awards that the students can get, whether it be a trip to go to the International Science Fair, a trip to a research institution, awards from professional organizations. More importantly, the ability to interact with other kids and peers within their class and other schools to see what can happen.
I've been doing this science fair for, I think this is my 13th year, and over the years, each year it brings something new. I'm teaching more than just science. I'm teaching presentation skills, research skills, as well as science skills. It's not just about completing the topic and completing the project. It's about understanding what your results mean, being able to apply what you've learned into an everyday situation. Why does someone need to know this? Just being able to explain this information that you now have gained. How can someone else use this? What purpose does it serve?
I learned how to be able to present more efficiently, and I definitely learned not everything goes as planned, and definitely you have to do a lot of trials so that it can be valid.
I learned that even if your project fails, you can still learn stuff from the experiment.
Step out and try it. If you don't try it, you don't know, and you only get better with practice. When they come in as 9th graders, they might be very, very nervous. But if they repeat, come back, they get better and better.
Hi, my name is Yash Mehta, and I'm a recent graduate of Extra Credit. This show has been a great part of my life, and I started in Season 1 as a co-host before I became a host by Season 2. It was a great experience because I learned behind-the-scene aspects to production and the release of TV shows and the Detroit Public Television, as well as the Michigan Learning Channel process. Now, I recently graduated from North Farmington High School, and next year I'll be studying at Stanford University. I hope you guys consider joining because Extra Credit is a great experience. Thank you.
My favorite way to communicate with people is voice messages or text messages.
My favorite way to communicate with others are talking through text or on the phone or playing the game with someone.
My favorite way to communicate with other people is on FaceTime with my friends or my family.
It would be easier access to see their face while I'm communicating with them, and then it will help me get the gist of how they feel.
My favorite way to communicate with other people is to talk with them through social media or play basketball.
My favorite way to communicate with other people is just to talk to them because you can get to know them better than online text.
People on Earth use nonverbal ways to communicate every day, like facial expressions, hand signals, body language, and American Sign Language. Astronauts in space have their own nonverbal way to communicate too.
During the spacewalk and just generally during space operations all the time, communication is hugely important. So talking to the people who are outside, talking to the people on the ground, and obviously we have radios to do that, but a lot of times we wind up having to do that non-verbally.
Hold on, stop.
The hold signal. So whether that maybe sometimes your ears may not be clearing fast enough as the pressure is changing, maybe someone's helping rescue you, but you're still attached and you realize that, and so in any case you give them a hold signal, and that should tell everyone to stop everything that's all the movement and kind of look around and for something that at least seems abnormal.
You okay? I'm okay.
We really want to check on each other, check on our buddies. So the way we usually do that is we use the okay hand symbol. And so we'll use it as a question and as an answer. So if I'm pointing at Raja and then giving him the okay sign, I'm saying, "Are you okay?" And if he is, he'll tell me, "I am okay."
I see what you're saying.
There's a lot of nonverbal that just comes from knowing and working with people that makes a big difference when you're working day in and day out, especially on a high-stress thing like a spacewalk, where just the look at someone's face can tell you, like, either, yeah, I'm good with this plan, or I've got reservations, maybe we should stop and talk about this. And you can do all that with just a glance, even through the glass of the space helmets.
A handful of numbers.
If you're flying formation, which we practice in the T-38, we also use hand signals just to keep up with those skills. And so one of the most common things is transmitting numbers with your hands. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are pretty easy. And then the way we do 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 without taking your hand off the stick is to turn your hand horizontal. And so you can do the same thing with air pressure. So for example, if I had a problem with my suit and she was trying to tell me, what is your oxygen pressure, and I couldn't talk because I had a communications problem, I could still tell Kayla, I could tell her a 1, and then this would tell her 1 and 6. And then, I could do a combination of those numbers to transmit to her non-verbally what the state of any of my values on my suit, whether it's suit pressure, water pressure, temperature, all the different numerical values. We can use hand signals for that.
Maybe we could demonstrate a few for each other and see if we can tell what the other person's hand signals are. So I'll go first, Raja, and you can see if you know what I'm trying to tell you.
What do you think Kayla is trying to communicate? Is she telling Raja she can't hear? That he needs to clean his helmet visor? Or asking him what song he's listening to?
All right, so what Kayla's telling me there is she's pointing to herself, which is indicating the person who has the problem. You could also point at someone else, but in her case, she's pointing at herself, so she's telling me she has a problem, and then she waved across her ears, which is telling me she can't hear. Okay, so let's say we have that same scenario. So we've had some kind of loss of comm, and Kayla came to check on me while I was out on a spacewalk. When she got there, I might give her a signal like this.
Can you figure out what Raja is trying to communicate? That they need to move to the other side of the space station? That they need to wrap up and finish what they're doing? Or is he asking her to do a flip in microgravity?
So there, Raja would be trying to communicate to me that we need to speed things up. Maybe he has a problem that's accelerating or getting worse, so he's saying it's kind of an urgent situation here, let's get a move on, more or less.
Next time you see astronauts on a spacewalk, look out for some of the hand signals you learned today. You can even try them out with your friends to talk in your own nonverbal code. For more fun with STEM, visit stem.nasa.gov.
What did you think about that video, Brooke?
I think it was good. I definitely would have chosen different answers if they gave me different answers to choose from. Like when just go like that, I'm thinking windshield wiper. Like I'm going wipe your visor.
Yeah, I would think to clean the.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I got something.
Yeah.
Let me wipe it off. But I think it's interesting, and I have an established way of communicating already. So it wouldn't be taken as windshield wiper, and it said I can't hear. But sometimes I like to use a combination of face and hand movements. I don't know. Sometimes I make a face and do something. I can't think of it right now, but what are some signs that are more familiar to you?
The facial expressions, really. I make facial expressions and I don't even realize it. If I disagree with somebody and I don't want to tell them that, I'll be like, and that kind of makes them kind of Oscar. He's expressing that he wants to play with you. He's trying to communicate with us, but yeah, I do a lot of facial expressions and I use my hands a lot when I talk. So I also,
yeah. Sometimes that means keep going. Expand on that thought.
Expand on that thought. Yeah. I also, what else do I do?
Do you think it's easier to read facial expressions and hand signals than it is to actually verbally say it?
Yes, I think so, because your facial expression really says a lot.
It could say more than what you're actually saying.
Exactly.
You could say something and your face is turned up and it's
Yeah, and like the words that come out, you don't want to be rude, but like your face says it all.
Your face says it all.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like, oh, like, okay, this is like Mean Girl-esque. I wouldn't actually do this, but this kind of reminds me of like some like school setting. So it's like, imagine someone's just like, oh, her skirt's so pretty. Like,
not really.
Okay. No, you don't think so. You
Yeah,
lied.
you would think, you would think
Your
someone was
face
being
told
funny.
on you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was mean. Like it doesn't
Just don't
matter.
compliment me then.
Exactly. Like if you can't put on a fake smile and just leave me alone, like for real, like that's why sometimes you have to watch how your face expresses things versus how you say it. Because one thing your face might be trying to say, your voice might be trying to say another. So even though there's many ways people can communicate things, there's also many different ways people can interpret things.
Exactly. I agree.
We want to hear from you. What's your best advice for avoiding miscommunication? See you next time.
This program is made possible in part by the state of Michigan and by viewers like you. Thank you.